If you've been a human being that's been alive in the past 3 months, then you've probably come across Fortnite. During a time of PUBG's success, I don't think people were expecting another battle royale game just to pop out of nowhere, much less become the most popular video game just about ever. Fortnite started out as a small co-op survival game for the PC with only one mode, Save the World, a game where Minecraft meets Left 4 Dead. But down the road, something changed. Epic brought in Chinese juggernaut Tencent to provide direction for a new service-based platform for the game and a new vision, Battle Royale. It soon went free to play as the development shifted towards this new, rising popular game type. Somewhere along the lines, Fortnite has turned into the most popular video game ever, and today we will go over why this all happened. So if you really break it down, Fortnite is the third popular game designed with this Battle Royale format, following H1Z1 and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. The format is simple. 100 players are dropped into a single map where players pick their landing spots, and after that, they search for weapons and items to be the last man standing while eliminating enemy players. At first, this concept, is not terribly exciting given the fact that we've played games like this for years now, but Fortnite does have a few competitive advantages that often make it more appealing than other Battle Royale games, and hence the success of Fortnite. Fortnite's unique touch is building, which replaces vehicular combat in other games like PUBG. Players can scavenge resources or break down structures to build walls in combat. This allows combat to not just have depth, but allow for dynamic, vertical gunfights, which can be a lot more interesting than fighting in a square box. The beauty of it is that it lends to an extreme amount of gameplay diversity, something other games just do not have. The battles of Fortnite are limitless. You can fight on top of towers, blow up and collapse enemy walls, and tons more stuff. Situations are many and always different. You can fight straight up, use launch pads to invade enemy squad territory, utilize traps to isolate enemies, and use rockets to get an advantage on the battlefield. There's just so much to do at any given moment, and I think people really like that kind of diversity. You find yourself in unique situations all the time in Fortnite because of this secondary mechanic, which is the problem other Battle Royale games really haven't solved yet, because they lean on usually one thing. So obviously I'm going to make some comparisons to PUBG here, so just buckle up. PUBG does offer gameplay diversity with how the game is built and how big it is. You do find yourself in a lot of circumstances that are different from game to game. You'll fight all over the map, up hills and buildings or across bridges. You'll enter final circles in the military base, the school, in the middle of a grassy field, or even on a mountaintop. The map is so big and there's so many players, so yes, every game is definitely going to be a little bit different, but a couple hundred hours in and you start to realize that the only thing different is the circumstance. You're still playing the same game, just in a different scenario, shooting the same gun at the same enemy. This isn't actual gameplay diversity because the only mechanic in PUBG is shooting. Yeah, PUBG does have vehicles, which adds a lot of diversity, but not everyone actually gets them. It's not a mechanic, it's an addition. So yes, once you do get those vehicles, you can bridge camp and ambush, but once you exit the vehicle, you're going to return to its core gun mechanics, which have not changed. This is where Fortnite steps in to offer actual diversification through another mechanic. Fortnite's unique building mechanic allows for not only tons of new things that happen every match, just like PUBG, but you're playing the game differently while doing so, and that's the big difference. The building mechanic offers an extreme amount of gameplay diversity outside of basic shooting and moving. In fact, being a smart builder may very well be just as important as being a good shooter. Even in the same circumstance, in the same area of the map, each scenario becomes unique. Because you're mechanically playing those moments different, the game often feels a little bit more dynamic. Fortnite's success took off because casual players just love this kind of diversity, whereas more serious players do want consistency. Fortnite's ancillary building mechanic is one of the tools Epic used to exploit this. To get the casual crowd, and as we all know, the casual crowd is 10 million times bigger than the serious hardcore gaming crowd. Which is exactly why you see Fortnite passing up PUBG in terms of actual players. The Battle Royale format is also a relatively new game genre that has recently peaked in popularity, so Fortnite is really a game that has experiences unavailable in other mainstream titles. But you gotta be smart and lucky when you release a new video game. And honestly, Fortnite got pretty lucky with its launch. Let's think back to 2017. I mean, really? Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, all games that came out during Fortnite's rise to power. They disappointed everybody, so the natural game to turn to was Fortnite or PUBG. Lucky for Fortnite, PUBG had already been in the spotlight for over 6 months prior to this movement, and many casual fans were looking for the next fun game just when Fortnite arrived at their doorstep. Many of those players would be console gamers patiently waiting for a console port. Suddenly being released to console 3 months prior than PUBG, it was able to cash in at the right time right away. It was also free, which removes barriers of entry and eliminates the worry of buyer's remorse, two things that absolutely deter people from buying new video games. And not to be forgotten, Fortnite also had very little controversy during its launch, during a time when other games were getting whiplashed in the ass for things like microtransactions, loot box garbage, and day one DLC. So Fortnite was the white knight of gaming in 2017 compared to all that crap, which helped boost consumer confidence in the product. The last thing that propelled Fortnite's success was its ease of accessibility, and probably the most important thing that we can possibly talk about. Like pick up and play first-person shooting games like COD 4, you can jump right in to Fortnite. The game is simple and easy to understand, but unlike other modern shooting games, it can still retain the depth of gameplay with its building mechanics, shooting, and other small unknown tactics. You can become a bush and camouflage in plain sight, or bait a player into chasing you into walking into a trap of spikes. It's all very intuitive. The controls are simple and easy to adjust to your preferences. Colors stand out and are vibrant, allowing players to see others quickly and see items players drop from a distance. If you've played another Battle Royale game, you know this is a major problem in many a game. When you're shot, you're given a clue as to where the fire is coming from, something that new players will find a shocking omission from PUBG. It helps people return fire and get lopsided kills, which makes players feel good, and games definitely want to make players feel good. There's no complex mechanics such as bleeding, managing massive weapon recoil, or high time to kill. Scavenging loot and inventory management is also a ton easier. Controls are snappier and the game just feels a lot more smooth. Compared to the horrendously bad FPS, ping, and unresponsiveness of PUBG's weapon pickup system, which has been terrible through its entire lifespan, and you can see why people just find it easier to jump into a game like Fortnite. And in terms of the actual gameplay, all houses contain weapons that can be seen clearly inside and even outside of the structure. Chests are colorful and make sounds when nearby, cutting out the middleman of having to search every nook and cranny of a house. There's also color coding for items, a nod to those familiar with MMOs. And building is easy, you could pop up walls out of nowhere even as a first-time player. So Fortnite is incredibly accessible, which is one of the biggest reasons why it's so popular. Fortnite has become a titan in both the console and PC world in less time than you could possibly imagine. It has a great building mechanic, it had a fantastic release window, and it's incredibly accessible. It's not a perfect game, and some people will not find its art style and building mechanic enjoyable, but with the price tag of free, it won't stop them from at least trying it. For those reasons, Fortnite is the most popular video game on the planet right now, and it very well may be the Battle Royale game of the future. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Now look, I'm a PUBG player, okay? I've got like 350 hours in that damn game, and I don't play Fortnite too much, but hey, you know what? When a game succeeds, I think it's important to realize why it succeeded and give it credit, because this game doesn't look like it's gonna slow down anytime soon, so PUBG versus Fortnite. You tell me what you guys think in the comment section of these two absolute gigantic juggernaut games. It's been a long time in this industry that we have seen two games that are this big, this quickly. It's just absolutely insane to me that we can have small games way bigger now than what used to be the AAA market. So I think it's a very fantastic time. Things are evolving so quick in this industry, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for this genre and others. So drop that comment below, like the video if you liked it, downvote the video if you hated it, and we'll see you guys in our next video.